Welcome, everybody, to the first ever One Wrestling D1 Nationals Wrestling Breakdown Prediction Show. Alrighty, so how I'm going to be doing it, I'm kind of going over who my champ is, my All-Americans for every weight class. I'm not going to talk about every matchup because that would take all day. You guys don't have all day. I want to make it short to the point, but still informative. I want you guys to go out there and sell off your mortgage and put it on my picks. However, if they do not hit, I do not want to be responsible. Please do not show up at my doorstep. Without further ado, I'm just going to get you guys into the video where I start with 125 pounds. Now, starting off with my main man, Eddie Ventresca. Not a guy that probably many people are picking to win, but I think he's the guy who's going to get it done, man. Eddie Ventresca, he'll take you into deep waters, dude. Those rideouts, those overtime matches, he's the guy that you could count on to get it done. And I think he has a path that's going to set him up very nicely to get to the finals. Gives him a favorable matchup, I think, in Vincent Robinson, even though he lost last time. I think that match may play into Eddie's strengths. Now, that leads us into our number two guy, Vincent Robinson. I think he finds himself a very favorable path to get back to the finals here, too. I got him taking out Troy Spratley early. Kind of had Troy Spratley's number just in past matchups, so I feel like that's a favorable match for him. And then he gets the draw of Sheldon Seymour. Again, here in the quarterfinal round, I think another favorable match for him here. Hit that wrist snap on him last time, easy dub. Now I got some chaos coming on over here, which will get him to the finals, which I will explain right now. My number three guy, Luke Lillendahl. I have him falling early to some Jet Strickenberger Juco bullshit, probably. I don't know if it's going to be like a cement mixer or a junky little scoot the quarter into a cradle or something. I see Jet having this big moment and then probably not doing anything for the rest of the tournament, probably falling before the All-American. Not that he's a bad wrestler or anything. I just see that's a very Jet Strickenberger thing to do. Now, I think Luke will go on a big tear on this backside and take out everybody else. Leading into number 4, Troy Spratley, another very dependable technical guy. I would say him and Luke are probably some of the best technicians in this bracket. Just these two guys, Ventresca and Vincent Robinson, know how to win with those strategic tactics. Spratley, I got him taken 4th. I think he's a little bit below the caliber of Luke, but I could really see him placing anywhere in this bracket. Going on to number 5, Nick Bouzakis. Now, Bouzakis is an absolute monster, man. Like, he gets off the scale, dude. He's probably pounding about 4 gallons of water and eating 8 peanut butter and jellies to get back up to the size that he needs to be where he could walk around, man. I have no idea how the hell this dude made 125. And I think that weight cut might start to get to him around day 2 in that quarters finals match where he meets up with a guy like Jor Volk, who's going to come out there and cause some chaos. My number 6, Jor Volk. Honestly, very funky dude, can beat anybody, can also kind of lose to anybody, but I think this style bodes well for him in a bracket with a lot of matchups that could really go anywhere, man. 125 is really a coin toss at the end of the day. Now into our number 7, Sheldon Seymour. Now, Sheldon Seymour, a pretty fast, technical dude. He's got that Musakaya sprinter shot, which you would not expect out of a white man named Sheldon, but he's got that on deck. I think he holds it down, gets 7th place, earns All-American status this year. And that leads me into my last one, Nicolas Rivera. Big underdog here, the 23 seed, but former Fargo champ, super funky style, man. I think he can give guys problems. His problem is his gas tank, but maybe he goes on a good run. It's his senior year, I'm pretty sure. Ended off with a little highlight reel, All-American status for Nicolas Rivera. Guys I would throw in that mix that are not Nicolas, Steve O'Poulin, definitely a good chance. Dean Peterson, especially if he ends up in this spot here. But yeah. Moving on to probably our most exciting bracket here at 133 pounds. Now, I see this can go probably about 4 different ways, and I'm going to run you guys through these scenarios, beginning with my champ, Marcus Blaze. Now, Marcus Blaze, I think he finds himself a very favorable path to this finals match. Drake Ayala probably not going to give him any problems. Same with this dude from Army. Now, Ben Davino's when things are going to really start heating up. these guys always take it to like ride outs or, very one score type of match. Like they are not trading points back and forth. And the thing about Marcus Blaze is, man, once he gets in this stance, dude, he's got his little elbows tucked in and he's in here, man. You really can't move him. I really don't know how you score on the guy. I think that's a really coin flip type of match, but if I really had to bet on anybody, I'm taking Blaze in that scenario. And this leads us to the finals, which could be a very interesting matchup. Now, I think Jax finds his way to the finals. Seidel might give him a little hiccup, but in this scenario that I have drawn out, I see a Blaze versus Jax final. And I think Blaze gets it done, man. I've been watching their past couple matchups, and I feel like Jax can really work his offense on most guys, and it's a hell of a lot harder to get on Blaze than it has been for many other people for him. I can see Blaze definitely pulling through and winning this. Now I'm going to talk about Jax and his path. He actually runs into All-American Zan Fugit early in this bracket. Then, Markel Baker. I got Jax winning that, man. Then Kyler Larkin versus Jax. That'll be a very interesting matchup. I'm sure everyone wants to see that again. But, yeah, last time he kind of gave him the belt. I love Kyler, but Jax did some despicable things with those ball and chain tilts. All right, so that will lead me into our number 3 guy. We already talked about the final earlier. So Ben Davino. Ben Davino's got a little bit of a harder path to get here than most guys. He faces Tyler Knox, crafty leg rider type of guy, and this dude Leet, I think, or Bird if Bird really wins it. But dude lost to Blake Borman last week, so I don't really know how much respect I'm gonna put on Lucas Bird's name at the moment. So Ben Davino does see himself a little bit of a harder path to get to this third place spot. I do still see him reaching the semifinals where he falls to Marcus Blaze. Now I think him and the number 4 guy are about pretty even, but if I really had to bet on anybody, I would bet on Ben Davino to take third in this bracket. Now that brings me to my number 4, Aaron Seidel. Now I think Aaron Seidel is capable of giving Jackson, pretty much anyone in this bracket here, problems, but I like Kyler Larkin, man, and that leads me into he's 6. We'll wait on Kyler, but I think Kyler, very crafty, hard to score on, man. He forces them scrambles, and he's good in those scrambles. So I see him losing to Larkin early, but going on a bit of a run to bring himself back to that 4th place, which is a respectable spot here for the freshman Aaron Seidel. Now number 5, Drake Ayala. Drake Ayala definitely had himself a rough start to the season for sure, but I can see him making it back up and going on a bit of a run here. Call me crazy, but March is really where Drake shines, except for that finals match. He's not getting back there, unfortunately. I do see him taking 5th, which is good in this very difficult bracket. Brings me to number 6, Kyler Larkin, the people's favorite. Love the YouTube videos, everybody does. Kyler touched on him a little bit earlier. He's super tough to score on. Lots of ways to score. I see him taking 6th place. Not bad for a freshman campaign. Number 7, we got Tyler Knox. Now, Tyler Knox runs into the buzzsaw Ben Davino early. But I can see him doing good on the backside, man. He's really crafty with the legs, getting his turns on top. Not something you see every day, and I think that's a little bit of a screw that could mess with everyone's game plan here, and I think he finds his way to the podium. Now, number 8, I went with the safe pick. Zan Fugit had a great run last year. He might have placed like 5th or something. I don't really remember. Out of Wisconsin. There's a couple other guys you could throw in here, but I went with Fugit. I like the name. So 141 pounds. I am tempted to say that this bracket is a lock with Jesse Mendez, but I really think you could argue 2 ways. I think Vega is super tough, but I'm going to go with Jesse Mendez to win this bracket. Now, Jesse Mendez actually is going to have a pretty tough path to become a champ, but as a guy who's he's either 1 or 2 in the Hodge Hunt, I think he probably is 2. I think he's going to find himself a tough route to get here. Ryan Jack, previous All-American out of D Block. He runs it into him first, but that's really food for Jesse Mendez. He is a different beast. Joey Oliveri, another really tough guy. Great record on the year, 19-2. I see Mendez taking him out. And Stanich, another super underrated guy. He had a great run at Worlds. I don't even remember when. I think he got gold or something. Gold or silver? Something along those lines. Now, I thought Stanich would possibly play a little bit more of a threat to Mendez, and then I watched their match at the Clarion Open last year. Mendez kind of gave him the belt. Now, this leads us to Mendez versus Vega, what everyone wants to see. And I think Mendez gets it done. I think Vega is super hard to score on, can make it a close match with anybody. I think it ends up being like a one-score match, possibly two, if Vega tries to, get a little desperate late on in that match. But yeah, I think Sergio Vega is super tough. We'll lead that into talking to him. He's got a little bit of a tougher path to go to the finals. Runs into Eli Griff. He's pretty nice. But I got Vega winning that. Nasir Bailey, previous All-American versus Vega, hasn't quite looked himself at 130 or 141, up from 133. So I got Vega taking it here. And then Vince Cornella, I got him upsetting Hardy. But one of these guys, I think that's actually probably that's another light work match for Vega. I see him getting here pretty easy. Definitely the 1 and 2. And I would definitely say it probably plays out this way. Now, my number 3 guy, Luke Stanich, talked about him earlier. World level guy. Sees Simcox and Echemendia pretty early, so he might get knocked out on the earlier side. Man, he's got himself a tough path to get to that finals. Though I do think he is very skilled and pretty slept on, man. Hasn't lost this year. Just a tough guy, man. Now, number 4, we're going with the 25-year-old Mormon or whatever he is, man. Class of 2017 or something like that, man. Brock Hardy. Dude's been around forever. What can you say? He's good scrambler, crafty. Will catch guys. Almost similar to Vega, but, just a bit older. He's got that seasoned vet mentality, though. If I'm that old, I am placing in this bracket too, man. Congratulations to Brock Hardy. And that leads a perfect segue to 25-year-old Cuban Anthony Echemendia, and he's 25 in Cuba years, so we have no idea how old that is. He might be for 40 for all we know, along with Younger. Echemendia, great on his feet. Cuba guy, big freestyle. His problem is top-bottom position. I think he's good enough to beat everyone else on the feet, but these top 4 guys just match strategy-wise, I think they're levels above Anthony Echemendia. Now leads us to number 6, Vince Cornella out of Cornell. What a fitting name. Not much to say. He hasn't lost this year, I'm pretty sure. Lost one time. I forget to who. And he's got Brock Hardy early. I see him taking out Brock Hardy. Brock Hardy been here many times, but, might come out a little flat-footed in that quarterfinal round. Vince Cornella takes advantage of it. That's what I could see happening. I'm looking through the crystal ball right now. That's enough Vince Cornella talk. Let's go on to CJ Capasto, 7th placer out of UPenn. Jersey guy, I'm pretty sure. Previous All-American. I think he's a gritty dude who can find himself onto this podium in the 7th spot. That leads me into our final 8th placer, Joey Oliveri, Jersey guy. Great record on the season. Him placing in this bracket. That's enough 141 talk. Now 149. Very tough weight class here at 140. Actually, no, I'm lying. This is not a tough weight class. Let's not talk about this one too long. All right. What I'm really hoping for is a Shane Van Ness upset. Something about the way that he just gets down every match and kind of comes back, but it's not like the craziest, most flashy comeback. Just something about the way he wrestles, dude. I feel like he gets in on all these low effort snatches, which, great footwork by him, but kind of just pisses me off. He makes it look a little bit too easy at times, and I remember what Ridge Levitt did to this guy last year, and I think Jackson Joy is a hungry dude, man. I think he's coming out here. He knows there's going to be some guys coming into this 149 weight class next couple of years where it's going to get harder. It's only going to get harder. So if he wants to win a title, it's got to be now. Kind of do or die situation for Van Ness, too. He's been around since probably 2019 or something. Dude is old, man. He's pretty old. So a lot of stakes here. I see Joy getting it done, man. He is weird and crafty on top, and I think that is the kind that could beat Shane Van Ness, can stall it out in the feet, kind of just force those crackdown positions. I'm really hoping for Jackson Joy. Most likely will probably be Van Ness, but I want to be the guy to make the Joy prediction. So I got him taking first. Van Ness, talk about his path to the finals a little bit. Runs into former teammate David Evans, super underrated guy to Utah Valley, who is having himself a good year. Utah Valley to Penn State connection. Yeah, I see Van Ness. Not the most difficult path, but definitely not a. I just don't see a lot of depth here, man. At 149, which will lead us to Colin Gadge. Colin Gadge, Zargo, that's a tough match, and I think he runs into Carter Young or Quay Busegins, whatever. Whoever it is going to be a tough match. Colin Gadge is a grinder. He gets it done in those gritty matches. So I think it's fitting that he will take third on the backside in this bracket. All right, that will lead me on to number 4, Aiden Valencia, man. This guy is super quick. A lot of hype coming into the year. Kind of fell off a little bit. Could see him almost having not quite the Richie Figueroa type performance, but something where he even outperforms what everyone thought of him in the year. I think Valencia is a sleeper, and that 10 seed's a little disrespectful. Doesn't quite match up to his true skill level. Now, number 5, another bit of a sleeper guy, David Evans. Had a banger match with Valencia earlier in the season. Former Penn State guy, got all those Penn State reps, and I think similar to like what Bearclaw did. I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago. Wherever Bearclaw was at UVU, I can see Evans outperforming expectations. Not that there's many expectations on this university. All right, that's enough. Cross Wazawuski, however the hell you spell that. Yeah, he's pretty solid. 24-3. Runs into McNeil. I think McNeil takes him out here, but McNeil's got a lot of firepower, but I see him giving out. He's a little old. At least he looks old. I honestly have no idea how old he is, but grad year at Michigan, usually that means you're over the hump. Yeah, we covered both those guys enough. That's good. Carter Young. I saw some dude on Flow. I forget what his name is. I think it's Spay. Said Carter Young might win the bracket. He's probably smoking crack. 31-15 against Van Ness. After Carter Young was up early, he got beat. He got beat up really bad. So I can't see him winning it, but I can see him taking 8th place. Very talented guy in Carter Young, former Oklahoma State talent. So that is how I see 149 playing out. 157, another very deep weight class here in the NCAA tournament. Now, my champ, I just made a video on this the other day. PJ Duke. Now, PJ Duke had himself almost like unattainable, I would say, standards put on him when he came in. He was almost like the LeBron. You beat a guy like Yanni at Freestyle Worlds, not Worlds, national team to get the spot at Final X. The expectations can't really be much higher. I think he faltered a little bit when he lost to Antrell Taylor earlier this year, let him get 2 rideouts. Now, after seeing Duke last week at the Big Ten tournament, I don't think anyone's beating him, man. He looked fucking crazy. I don't really know how you stop the guy. Super nice with the Russian underhooks, upper body tied type of guy, but also can beat you low. I don't know how you stop PJ Duke. I got him taking out everybody. Cardenas, tough match. Landon Rubidoux, probably another tough match. And I see him taking out Shapiro. We'll roll right into some Shapiro talk right here now. Meyer Shapiro, probably one of the most talented guys that I've ever really seen, man. Like, got that super Satiev style. Uses his legs and feet well to score. Now Shapiro has himself not decently hard little path to the finals. He's got to beat Antrell Taylor. I think Taylor actually plays well into Shapiro. I think, well, it's good for Shapiro because I think he's crafty from that overhook. Antrell Taylor loves that underhook from that one side. I think Shapiro finds his way to the finals, but is probably just PJ Duke is really just a fucking grown man in a 20-year-old's body. I don't know how I think Duke wins it, but I think Shapiro has himself a great tournament still. Number 3, my guy, Ty Waters. Now I see Ty Waters running to Shapiro. That is going to be an electric match. I got Shapiro winning it, but I do see Waters doing what he did not last year, year before at the NCAA tournament, taking third. Man, he knows how to get it done the backside, how to win. Super nice with that over tie slide by. Clean tattoo sleeve to Ty Waters, my guy Ty Waters. Now that leads me to number 4. The big boy of Larkin, Caleb Larkin, 6 foot tall, very tall, lanky man, will hit you with the splits. Has that very nice cross pick as well, with the little foot block. He is a tough matchup here in Landon Robidoux, who he actually just beat last week. But I feel like Landon might come out feeling a little different, feeling a little heated up about what happened in that match. Might get it done and then lose to Duke. But Caleb Larkin, man, how do you score on this guy? He's tall as fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I see him taking 4th. Now 5th, we got Antrell Taylor, last year's champ. I think he was a little too hated on at some point this season. Did lose a couple of times. Had a close match with Charlie Millard. But I do see Antrell Taylor finding his way firmly in the podium at number 5. I think he is still super dangerous with what he brings to the table. Kind of had his best performance possible last year. I did not really see an outcome where he was winning after he kind of got bullied by Kasak. Big Tens, but I do see him placing 5th. Okay, number 6, Landon Robidoux. All right, Landon Robidoux. I do see him making it to the semis and then placing, but not dominating the placement rounds. See him placing 6th. Daniel Cardenas. This dude would piss me off every year that he would fucking spike Meyer Shapiro on his head. That really made me upset as a Meyer fan. But yeah, Daniel Cardenas is tough. He's got nice fundamentals. I think he hits a little high crotch and such. Can see him placing along with Cannon Webster. Cannon Webster, very tough. Last year he did pretty well at 49. Not sure if he placed or not. He might have been Bloods, but he's very tough, man. I see him maybe losing early and then having a nice backside to his bracket here. Now that will do it for 157. 165 pounds. Now lock it in right here. Mitch Messenbrink is winning the title. Only guy who could really give him any problems, I think, is Joey Blaze. Joey Blaze, another world level dude, but I don't think I really even have to talk about any matchup early with him. Ladarian Lockett may give him problems. Another successful freestyle guy in Ladarian Lockett, super quick and likes to keep it low scoring. Sit back in that little knee sprawl type of stance, and he'll hit you with some very slick moves. I think he definitely has a chance to take out Mitch. Very dangerous guy, but Mitch takes him out in my opinion. And then he will run into Joey Blaze. Mikey Caliendo better pray for his own mental sake that he doesn't run into Mitch again, man. I don't know if I could watch him lose to him for the 10th time, man. It's kind of bullying, kind of hard to watch, so I really want to see Joey Blaze make it to that finals matchup again. Now, Joey Blaze is very tough, but I don't know if he's Mitchell Messenbrink level, man. Mitch is different. He gets on a leg and he scores, man. That is what he does. He puts up points. You really cannot say anything bad about Mitchell Messenbrink on the mat, man. I don't think anyone here has the style to beat him, that David Carr type of style. All right, that'll lead me into number 2, Joey Blaze. Actually don't think he has the craziest path. I don't think it's super difficult. You know what I mean? A little tough match with him and Caliendo. Thought we were going to see us at Big Tens, and then Joey Blaze got hit with the 360 no scope from Andrew Barbosa. Shout out to that guy. What a move that was. I think Caliendo kind of scores on everybody, but he'll have a tougher time with Blaze, man. Blaze got that Blaze stance. Not as much as his brother, but very difficult to score on. Yeah, kind of a grinder type of match with him and Caliendo, and I see Blaze coming out on top. Caliendo, my 3rd placer, or no, 4th placer. We'll get on to him next. Ladarian Lockett, my 3rd placer. Touched on him a little bit earlier, man. Super hard to score on. Kind of needs to get to his offense a little bit more. Lost to Nico Ruiz a couple weeks ago at Big 12s because of that. I do see Ladarian Lockett placing 3rd, though. Very, very skilled guy. Caliendo, I got placing 4th. Kind of puts the belt on most Big Ten guys that are not named Mitchell Messenbrink. Scores points in bunches. I do see him taking fourth. Matty Bianchi taking fifth. Mr. TikTok guy. He's built like a brick shit house, and he's pretty tough, man. I can see him placing fifth. And yeah, I think he placed last year, so I will see him back on this podium. Ryder Downey, Northern Iowa guy. He might have been at Iowa before, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong though. Yeah, he's just that grinder type of style. See him taking out Rouge out early, a little upset, and then him falling to Caliendo. Do see him placing though. I think he's tough, and we'll get through this bracket. Number 7, Max Brignola out of Rumson, New Jersey. I think Max Brignola finds his way in the podium. Had some big wins last year. Took out guys like Julian Ramirez and such during his redshirt season. So I think he is a slept-on type of guy. And Max Brignola will find his way in the podium, probably at the 7th spot. Now 8th, going with Cesar Alvan, Western Massachusetts native. I think he's got a bit of a tough draw as he's got Ladarian Lockett early, but I think he holds it down. I think he's a senior, so feeling his back against the wall. He goes out there. He places 8th. On to 174 pounds. These are taking a little bit longer than I would like. You guys got lives. I would like to get you back to them. Champ here, Levi Haynes. Now, I think Levi might get a little bit challenged by a guy like Simon Ruiz. Super tough. Sit in the corner. Got that funky style out of Delbarton, New Jersey. So, yeah, now Levi's a world level placer. Not much to say. I don't really think anyone in his path really gives him that much challenge until he runs into Simon Ruiz. Kennedy or Karchla. I think he's probably going to put the belt on. This final match may be close, may not be. Kind of just depends on if Levi, even if he could get to his turns, he's very underrated on top. So we'll talk about Simon Ruiz now. Enough Levi talk. Simon Ruiz, super funky. I think he's technically unbeaten on the year. Not 100% sure about that. That's what it says. Had a great showing last year at NCAAs. Put people on blast. Kind of been new though. Jersey guy. Beat Harvey Ludington back in the day for that 3rd state title. That shit was cold. Simon Ruiz, 2nd place. Carson Karchla taking 3rd. Now, I think he kind of wrestles like a turd. I hate the little dump style he has, but he's like 5'8" at 174 pounds. He gets it done. So Carson Karchla taking 3rd, but I do see him getting upset by Kennedy early. Kennedy's that try hard dude, man. He'll make shit a tough match for you. All right, we'll go to number 4, Chris Minto. Probably one of the slicker guys in this bracket. I just can't see him beating Ruiz, but super skilled. Placed at a tough bracket last year at 165. Put people on notice for sure. Christopher Minto. I think he places 4th. I think that's a respectable spot for him. Now, Bo Mentanoa. Long, lanky guy. I really don't think this is the most talented weight class, and I think Bo Mentanoa can kind of get away with his style. I'm not saying it's not skilled or anything. I think he presents some challenges that will be tough for guys, and I see him placing 5th on that podium. Patrick Kennedy. Last of the real Iowa style, man. That shit is dying out. Iowa, what are you guys doing? You guys are killing these people with these practices, except for the Pat Kennedy types. We got iPad kids growing up now, so he's probably last of a dying breed. He'll make every match a bar fight. Now, he's got a tough path to get to, where he wants to get into this bracket. Pinto, Karchla, Levi, potentially, if he got that far. But I do see him placing, man. I think he's a senior. He's old as hell. Probably sneaks his way into that podium in the 6th spot. Now, Matty Singleton, tough guy. Gave Simon Ruiz probably his closest match of the year. Was up like 2 takedowns on him. So, Matt Singleton, I see him taking 7th. And Cam Steed had himself a good tournament last year. I think he either placed at 74 or 65, one or the other. I can see him placing again this year. It's not the deepest bracket. He's got some big wins. Got some big wins last year at that tournament. Maybe he shows up again, gets 8th. 184 pounds, probably the 3rd best bracket out of this entire tournament. And the guy that I have securing that champ status is Mad Max McAnally. Now, he had himself a great tournament last year. Barely lost to Parker Ketkais, and he was really moving with him. And I really hope he beats Rocco Welsh. Rocco Welsh is boring as all hell. Not saying that Max McAnally is exciting to watch, but when he does go, I think he's a better point scorer than Welsh. More exciting, at least. He's got that football style. The guy will just run through you, man. Max McAnally, hell of an athlete, and I can see him taking out Welsh to become the champ this year. Now, Rocco Welsh, what can you say? He hasn't lost this year. Lost to Carter Storaci in the finals not too long ago. Might have been last year or 2 years ago. I honestly can't remember. But Rocco Welsh is a real tough dude. Went from Ohio State to Penn State. Doesn't do shit, though. I do not like watching this guy. I really hope he doesn't win. Number 3, Aiden Sinclair. AWA product. Aiden Sinclair, he's pretty slick, man. I don't know if enough people are really got their eyes on Sinclair like they should. Matches up with Ferrari early, and now I think he gets it back on Ferrari because I think he's been hurt. So not sure if Ferrari is coming into this tournament at full strength, and I think that will affect his placement in the long run. Now, going on to number 4, Dylan Fishback. Honestly, this bracket with a banged up Ferrari, I did not know who else to pick for 4th. Dylan Fishback, super tough, has tough matches with everybody. I think he loses to Conway, gets it back on him in the Conti rounds, potentially. On to Conway, out of Franklin and Marshall. Not every day you're going to say that about the 4th ranked guy. Now, Conway's got some good wins last year over Chris Foca and other people I couldn't exactly remember, but I went through his wrestle stat. Definitely impressed me a little bit. I see him on the podium at 5. Number 6, Lil Ferrari, Angelo Ferrari. Now, what can I say? Freight Train Ferrari, super hard to score on. Has a very nice sweep single. Can kind of put things together, man. Top recruit coming out of wherever the hell he was at high school. But I don't think he's at full health. I think this is not going to be the best we see him, but he does find his way on the podium in the 6th spot. Now, Zach Ryder. Now, I really don't like watching this guy, Zach Ryder. Really stinks to watch. I think he does sneak his way onto the podium, though. Yeah, he was at Penn State before. Everyone hyped this guy up after he beat Jackson Smith or something like that. Yeah, I don't really know what the big deal is with Zach Ryder. He probably sneaks onto the podium. And then the last dude, Eddie. I forget how you say his last name. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. A little bit suspect. My boy Eddie out of Wyoming, though. I think he runs into Zach Ryder early. Probably gets taken out. Went through his wrestle stat. Has some nice wins. I think he finds his way on the podium. Moving on to 197. We'll go through this one pretty quick. Kind of a boring bracket. Similar to 174. All right, Josh Barr, the champ. Josh Barr gave Trent Hidley a tough match at Final X. So we got to take that into account, Josh Barr. I think he's a champ. Rocky Elam gives him another close match. Rocky Elam, super slept on. No one really talks about this guy. Was at Mizzou, transferred to Iowa State. He's got some U20 credentials, I think, possibly gold. Can't quite remember. But, Josh Barr was going for that senior spot, so got to add a little bit of respect onto that. Do see him becoming the champ. Now at 3, I got Novak. Novak placed like 4th last year. Out of Wyoming. So I think he's tall as hell. I think he gets it done. Runs into Barr in that semifinal matchup. Can't beat Barr. Places 3rd though. Not too bad. Sonny Sasso. Much taller than his brother. Big man at 197. I think he's pretty funky. And, in a bracket like this, I can find him securing some weird funky pins and such, finding his way into the 4th place spot. Now, I'm going Max Stout at number 5, the 10 seed here, Max Stout. He's got a twin brother, actually, and he looks like a fucking horse out there, man. He is a full-grown unit. I don't know what to say, but he is gigantic. I see him taking 5th, loses to Elam in that quarterfinal match. All right, now on to number 6, Rademacher. Very underrated out of Westland, Oregon, I think. Did pretty well at the Worlds. I don't remember what he placed, but he placed something. So we're going to put some respect on his name. Give him that 6th spot. Stephen Little, former AA, another really big bruiser type of guy. Finds his way on the podium back again in the 7th spot. Now on to Merrill. Don't know what to say about this guy. He's pretty boring, but he gets it done. Does that little shit where he just waits for his opponent to walk back to the center. Cody finds his way onto the podium at 197. Now, finally, been waiting to talk about this one. Who do I think is winning the heavyweight weight class? Who else would I pick besides AJ Ferrari? How are you going to bet against a man who is that confident in himself, man? He believes every bit of himself and goes out there. He eats 12 steaks a day. At least he was before the season, lifts all that big, heavy weight, and he talks the talk, and he's really about it. I think he finds himself a favorable path to this final spot, and I think he could get it done, man. AJ Ferrari, what can you say? I was on the phone with AJ. This is a true story. Now, AJ picks up the phone. He's breathing heavy. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to talk to him. We're trying to coordinate a post later in the day. And he's like, got to get through hell before you can get to heaven. And he started spitting facts. He was telling me he was getting his heart rate up to over 200, entering deep waters, man. I don't see anyone preparing like Ferrari is for this moment. And for that reason, I got AJ crowning himself the champ, the people's champ. AJ Ferrari going to hit the splits after he goes out there and gets it done. Now let's talk about his path to get there. Runs into Younger Bastida. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day. They met at 197. AJ got the better of Younger. I can see AJ doing it again. Get another win against Feldman. Finally moved the needle. Beat Feldman last time at Big Tens. I think he could do it again. Another bruiser type guy. I think Nick Feldman presents Ferrari with some problems. He'll be able to overcome it, though. Now, in that finals matchup, Trumbull versus Ferrari. Trumbull is a very Greco type of guy. He will tie you up. And one thing about AJ, he likes his space. He's gonna clap at you, keep that leg forward, kind of that knee sprawl stance. Not as much a heavyweight, but I think Trumbull's gonna have to play into Ferrari's game instead of Ferrari playing into Trumbull's game. You kind of clear ties, very athletic, can stay open. And I do really like this path to the finals for AJ. Let's talk about Trumbull a little bit, my number 2 guy. Now, this side of the bracket is kind of the bigger, faster, more athletic type. And we have some skilled, bigger guys down here too. No disrespect, but definitely very different stylistically. It's kind of interesting to see that. Now, Trumbull, I do see him taking out Nathan Taylor, who will have a match against Taja Haldy. We'll talk about it in a second. What can I say about Trumbull? He's pretty good, man. Unbeaten on the year. Not the most talked about guy, but I think he's going to be the one to come out the bottom half. Now, at number 3, I got Younger Bastida. Dude is like 26, 27 in Cuban years. No idea how old that is. So we will find out. Probably never. Actually, we'll probably never find that out. But Younger Bastida, I see him placing 3rd, the biggest, strongest, most athletic guy outside of AJ Ferrari in this tournament. He's a freak, man. He'll hit you with that spin around little rubber knee type of move. All right, Nick Feldman, another very big, strong, athletic man. Nick Feldman, Brock Lesnar Jr. I see him losing to Ferrari, but can make it up and end up taking 4th on that backside. Taja Haldy, underrated guy out of Campbell last year. Went to Michigan for that grad year. Michigan is kind of heavyweight university. Can't sleep on Michigan for their heavyweights. I might dog on them for other weights. Heavyweight, they know what they're doing, though. Taja Haldy, got him taken 5th. Upset by Nathan Taylor here. Nathan Taylor, another underrated guy. I think he ends up taking out Taja Haldy there, but Tay gets it back on him for that 5th, 6th match. Talked about Taylor a little bit. That's enough Nathan Taylor talk. Colmir Sola, underrated guy. Penn State. Really can move, just physically outmatched by a lot of these guys. Do see him either taking the podium, him or Christian Carroll, one or the other. One of these guys will go on a good run and make the podium. Braxton Amos, underrated Greco type of guy. Again, I think he's super slept on. This is his year to get on the podium if he hasn't already. Not quite sure, but one of those guys always in those talks. Either way, bet the house on AJ, man. I cannot vouch for AJ enough. That's my guy. He's getting it done. He believes in himself. Already did it once. I don't want to hear that he can't do it again. AJ Ferrari. All right, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed my predictions. Please leave some of your own predictions in the comment section down below. Tell me what you thought of this. Yeah, use my Lineup Legends code. That shit's probably expired by the time you're watching this. But if you still can sign up for Lineup Legends, $10,000 tournament, all you got to do is enter your 10 champs to win. All right, please like and subscribe. That's all I got for today.